Can you just show my slides? So today I'm going to be speaking to you about the Code Like a Girl initiative. So what is our reality? I'm sure everybody has been hearing about the fourth industrial revolution, and it's actually been accelerated by COVID, right? With everybody working from home, us having a webinar of this sort online, you know, such things used to happen at conference facilities. But this is where we are. And we're at a point now where it's very clear that a large percentage of our population is being left behind. And unfortunately, a big majority of that population being left behind are our girls. Next slide, please. So here are the facts, right? 35% of girls enter the STEAM field. This is science, technology, engineering, animation, and mathematics. So I'm sure we're all aware of the term STEM, but now we have to include STEAM because the gaming industry is booming. You know, virtual reality, all of those things are booming, and having women there, we need a lot of it, right? If you're going to now focus into the ICT field, women only take up 23% of the workforce. If you think of how ICT has touched your life during COVID, it just shows how important it is. It's the backbone of every single industry you can think of, whether you're in accounting, whether you're in mining, whether you're in whatever you can think of. Connectivity and access to applications is so essential. And to think that women only occupy 23% of that workforce is very concerning. Now, when it comes to the money, right? Because with everything that we do, we want to make revenue. 80% of all household expenditure decisions are made by women. 80%. And I know men might think, why? No. You know, men, we make the most money. But if you think about men, and I'm not trying to be shady, but a lot of the men, when they buy things and they do things, a lot of them, they're doing it to position themselves to be able to attract the right kind of women. So it's been influenced by women. And then within the household, women actually make most of the decisions. Food being bought, the kind of appliances, school fees, medical aid, clothes being bought. 80% of the household expenditure comes down to women. And now, thinking of this, there are not enough girls being exposed to technology, and this leads to a shortage of women at the decision-making tables of the economy that they pump the money into. So that is what led us to the Code Like a Girl initiative. Next slide, please. So the program objective is just initially to not have you just talk to the girls about this is technology, this is connectivity, this is how a phone works. We wanted to get them into like a lab environment, right? Because I'm speaking to engineers now, getting them to the grips of what is coding, what is this thing. So we're like, okay, let's give them 1 week where they are going to build their own website. And we target girls between the ages of 13 and 18. Ideally, we look for girls between 13 and 14 before they make their subject choices in grade 10, which is about the age of 16. The 17, 18 age group, those are the girls who are now applying for tertiary. So we want to expose them to these things. So the program was built by an organization called Code First Girls. It is stationed in the UK. And Vodacom falls under the Vodafone group. So the principal for technology there came across this program by the Code First Girls, and they had a target to say, okay, we want to teach 1,000 girls in the UK how to code, and they built a whole program. So the Vodafone principal said, no, we have presence across the globe. Give us your content, give us your program, and we are going to now multiply that 1,000 by exponentials you can't even imagine. So basically, we teach the girls the building blocks of a website, right? There's HTML, which is basically like the skeleton of a website. CSS programming language, which brings life to your website, and JavaScript, which brings the interactivity, you know, how a person accessing the website will be able to put interact with the website, look for things, you know, put in videos and things like that. So in that week, we teach them all of these programming languages, and they really actually on the last day build their own website. So the program was launched in 2017. Like I said before, the principal in the UK approached the Code First Girls organization, and all of the Vodafone markets were asked to just run like a soft launch of sorts, right? And Vodacom, out of all the markets in Vodafone, we didn't go to the private schools, we didn't go to like, you know, the metropolitan areas. We took the decision to take girls from Tembisa high schools. And it really, really was a humbling experience, because here I was thinking that I'm going to have to teach these girls HTML and CSS and Java. But I actually had to show them how to open a window, how to right click on a mouse. I had to explain those kinds of things to them. I had to explain how to put in your username and your password. That was the kind of bridging that we had to do, that other Vodafone markets, you know, if you think of the UK and India and them, they never had to deal with those things, you know. And the incredible thing is, of all the Vodafone markets, I mean, if you were to Google and find where Vodafone has presence across the country, across the globe, Vodacom, our launch, we had topped off we had the best performance. And when I say performance, it was not like a pity award. All of the websites that the girls built had to be sent to the Code First Girls organization, and they actually did the work to review the actual website and the code behind the website. And our girls from Tembisa topped girls from all the other countries in the world. And that was such a lesson for us to say, if these girls can do this in a week and beat girls in Spain, beat girls in London, beat girls in Ireland, what can happen if we give the same kind of attention for their whole high school career? If we mentor them, like Lebo spoke about mentoring, if you mentor them throughout their tertiary career, where would we get to? So like I said, in 2017, it was a soft launch, and I had to go and kind of because we got the instruction from Vodafone head office through HR. And then I actually went on like a campaign to like, you know, present to EXCO, our HR group chief and our CEO, and be like, look what we did to 20 girls. And they were so inspired. So in 2018, they pumped some capital into it. So in 2018, we did Midrand again. We got 56 girls in Midrand. In KwaZulu-Natal and in Western Cape, and I got to travel to KZN and to Western Cape. And in 2018, we got to train 156 girls. And what was different about the 2018 was that we actually got to mix it up, township girls and the staff children. So the staff was like, why we work for Vodacom and then you're not inviting our children? So it brought like a very interesting dynamic where you had girls from township high schools sitting in the same room with girls from Model C schools and private schools. And we found that, again, the township girls came tops. And, you know, there was that thing of, these private school girls are going to do better. They have computers at home and all of these things. And there was a lot of work to debunk the myths, you know, and to actually show them it doesn't matter where you come from. It's about what you do. And these girls never saw this material, just like you never saw this material. So if you apply yourself, you can do it. Doesn't matter where you come from. And for me, in KZN, it was a full circle moment, because I actually got to train girls from a high school called Vukzake, which is the high school that my husband and my brother-in-law, Lebo's husband, matriculated from. So, you know, it really speaks to, you know, when you do something from a place of wanting to give back, you know, the universe responds, and in a very positive way. In 2019, we said, okay, fine, let's get out of the metros. Let's get to, you know, I don't like the term rural, but, you know, the non-metro environment. So we went to Mpumalanga, Limpopo, Eastern Cape, Bloem. We rerun in KZN, in Gauteng and Western Cape again. We went out into the rest of Africa where Vodacom has presence. We went to Mozambique, Tanzania, and Lesotho, and we reached 1,000 girls last year. And what was pivotal about 2019, you know, I still have my day job. I was not able to fly to all of these places. So we then got the graduates, you know, the graduates in the graduate program to run this course. And I was like, you guys need to have it from the time you start working. You must learn to give back. You must learn when you get an elevator and it sends you up, you send it back down. You must give back. You must plow back to your community. And what was also impactful about having graduate trainees doing and giving the course is that you have somebody closer in age, so they can relate from the experience of matric, they can relate to applying for tertiary, and they can give that kind of guidance to the girls who are actually on the program. COVID kind of put a break in our plans, but we were looking to leverage our partnerships with other technology giants to reach more girls outside of the high schools that we support in Vodacom Foundation, outside of the staff kids, to just blow it up. You know, Vodacom has a relationship with Amazon Web Services, AWS. We have a relationship with Google. These are things that our CEO has spoken about publicly. So these are the kind of relationships and partnerships we want to leverage to just make this thing bigger, make the circle bigger, because we see the impact. So the impact that we have seen, you know, the participants get exposed to the world of work. They get exposed to the professionals that come from their backgrounds and spend the week with them. So not everybody is born in a suburb. Not a lot of us, we come from the township. And when you hear somebody from a township say, I finished matric, I got to go to tertiary, I finished my tertiary education, I now work as a software engineer, I now work as this, I now do this. It's tangible, you know, it's not like somebody, a guidance teacher or a teacher at school lecturing them. The girls got to network with students from other high schools, private schools and public schools. So we got to debunk the myths that us and them nonsense. Because when you get to tertiary, I'm sure we all experienced, doesn't matter if you went to Vuxake or you went to Alex High or you went to St. Stithians, you all sit in the same lecture theater. So the girls got to experience this during the program. The level of exposure to technology really changed their thinking. So I really understood that not everybody's going to want to write code, but whatever it is that you're going to do, you understand that technology touches it. And now you understand that technology behind it. And as an organization, a key takeaway that we got was that to balance representation at the top, we have to start at the grassroots. We can't fight for women representation at the decision-making tables if we don't start at the grassroots. So this is the commitment that we're making, that, you know, these girls, we take them on, we put them on the program, and we add them to our database, and we track them. And as they finish matric, as their marks are looking good, you know, we look at them and like, guys, here's the Vodacom bursary program, you know, here's the career-wise bursary portal, apply, empower yourself. So it's not just a once-off tick box, we did this thing and we're done. We need to do a follow-through to build that talent pipeline. So these are just some snapshots of, you know, I think there's a lot of pictures. Like I said, I've been involved in this since the get-go in 2017. There's a lot of content online, on YouTube, on the Vodacom pages of, you know, all the areas and everybody we've been able to touch, and the support from the local governments, you know, in Limpopo, in Mpumalanga, in KZN. It really shows that this program is making an impact. It's getting incredible support, and I'm really looking forward to once we can get the girls into data centers, because unfortunately not everybody has a laptop. We can't do this over Zoom. Once we are able to safely have these girls in an ICT facility and teach them and expose them to these things, then we will have that talent pipeline to take Africa to the next level. Because I'm a firm believer that Africans can solve Africa's problems. This is something we cannot and should not outsource. And for us not to be left behind, we should not be looking to America, to the UK, to China, you know, to the Huawei's of the world. We must be that reference. They say African engineers, African programmers, they doing this. And this is what I really appreciate about ECSA saying, you know, to bring that accreditation, to bring that, you know, that weight behind it, because that's like I said, we want to be taken seriously and putting in the work, starting at ground roots, and us as professionals already in the industry, you know, maintaining and supporting and building an organization like ECSA, it's really going to give us that credibility when people reference African engineers. It comes from a place of, you know, a good source, a good quality source. And that's all I have. I just want to ask, once we open it up and the advertisements are on Twitter, I'll try my best to, you know, pollute the socials. Please bring your sisters, bring your brothers. I mean, people have been asking, why is it called Like a Girl? Boys also need to know how to do these things. Let's just make this thing huge and make Vodafone think, wow, Africa took this thing to the next level.